The Chinese Room. The Chinese Room thought experiment, created by John Searle, challenges the notion of artificial intelligence and the concept of understanding. It imagines a person inside a room who follows instructions to manipulate symbols in a language they do not understand, yet produces coherent responses. This experiment questions whether true understanding can arise from mere symbol manipulation, exploring the difference between syntactic processing and semantic comprehension. The Gettier Problem. The Gettier Problem is a thought experiment that challenges the traditional definition of knowledge as justified true belief. It presents scenarios where someone has a belief that is true and justified, yet intuitively does not seem to constitute knowledge. This experiment has significant implications for epistemology, prompting philosophers to reconsider what it means to truly know something. Mary's Room Knowledge Argument. Mary's Room is a thought experiment proposed by philosopher Frank Jackson. It challenges physicalism, the idea that everything about the mind can be explained by physical processes. Mary is a scientist who knows everything about color vision, but has lived her entire life in a black and white room. When she finally sees color for the first time, does she learn something new? This experiment questions whether there are non-physical aspects of knowledge, such as subjective experiences or qualia. The brain in a vat. The brain in a vat thought experiment is central to discussions in epistemology, the study of knowledge. It asks whether we can be certain of our knowledge if, hypothetically, we were just brains in vats, with all our experiences being artificially induced. This scenario challenges our assumptions about reality, knowledge, and the reliability of our perceptions. The butterfly effect. The butterfly effect is a thought experiment in chaos theory and philosophy of science. It suggests that small causes, such as the flap of a butterfly's wings, can have large, unpredictable effects, like a tornado on the other side of the world. This experiment explores the sensitivity of systems to initial conditions, questioning our ability to predict and control complex systems. The Swampman. The Swampman thought experiment, proposed by philosopher Donald Davidson, challenges our understanding of identity and meaning. Imagine a person is struck by lightning and disintegrates, while simultaneously, a duplicate emerges from a swamp, identical in every way. Is the Swampman the same person as the original? This experiment questions the nature of identity and whether it depends on continuity or history. The absent-minded driver. The absent-minded driver thought experiment explores the tension between pre-commitment and spontaneity in decision-making. An absent-minded driver sets out to take a specific exit but often forgets and continues driving. Should the driver pre-commit to taking the correct exit, even if it means losing the freedom to decide later? This scenario probes the balance between planning and flexibility in rational choice. The problem of the Criterion. The problem of the Criterion is a thought experiment that challenges our understanding of knowledge and skepticism. It asks, how do we know what we know? To know whether our beliefs are true, we need a criterion of truth. But how do we know that criterion is reliable without another criterion? This leads to a circular problem, questioning the foundation of our knowledge. The prisoner's dilemma. The prisoner's dilemma is a thought experiment in game theory and ethics. Two prisoners are faced with a choice: betray the other or remain silent. The outcome for each depends on the other's choice, leading to a situation where mutual betrayal seems rational but is suboptimal for both. This experiment explores the conflict between individual rationality and collective benefit. The experience machine. The experience machine, proposed by philosopher Robert Nozick, explores the nature of pleasure and reality. It asks whether we would choose to plug into a machine that could simulate the most pleasurable experiences, even if those experiences weren't real. This thought experiment questions the value of authenticity and the role of reality in our pursuit of happiness. The Trolley Problem. One of the most famous thought experiments in ethics is the trolley problem. It presents a moral dilemma involving a runaway trolley and a choice between two tragic outcomes. This thought experiment challenges our understanding of morality, exploring the consequences of our decisions and the ethical principles that guide them. The Veil of Ignorance. The Veil of Ignorance, introduced by John Rawls, is a thought experiment in political philosophy. It asks us to design a just society from behind a veil of ignorance, where we do not know our place in society. This scenario forces us to consider fairness and justice from an impartial standpoint, highlighting the importance of equality and unbiased decision-making in societal structures. The Twin Earth Thought Experiment. The Twin Earth Thought Experiment, proposed by philosopher Hilary Putnam, challenges our understanding of meaning and reference in language. It imagines a twin Earth where everything is identical to our Earth except for one key difference in a natural substance. This experiment raises questions about how we assign meaning to words and the relationship between language, thought, and reality. The Infinite Monkey Theorem. The Infinite Monkey Theorem is a thought experiment that explores the concepts of probability and infinity. It suggests that a monkey randomly typing on a typewriter for an infinite amount of time could eventually produce the complete works of Shakespeare. This experiment challenges our intuitions about chance, randomness, and the nature of infinity. The Ship of Theseus. The Ship of Theseus is a classic thought experiment in metaphysics that questions the nature of identity and change. It asks whether an object that has had all of its components replaced remains fundamentally the same object. This thought experiment probes the essence of identity over time and has implications for understanding persistence and continuity. Schrödinger's cat. Originating from quantum mechanics, Schrödinger's cat is a thought experiment that explores the nature of quantum superposition and observation. It involves a cat that is simultaneously alive and dead until observed. This paradox challenges our understanding of reality at the quantum level and raises questions about the role of the observer in defining the state of a system. The paradox of the ravens, Hempel's paradox. The paradox of the ravens challenges our understanding of confirmation and the logic of scientific hypotheses. It posits that if all ravens are black is true, then the observation of a non-black non-raven, such as a green apple, should theoretically confirm the hypothesis. This paradox explores the problem of induction and how evidence supports scientific theories. The liar paradox. The liar paradox is a classic logical thought experiment that arises when someone says, "This statement is false." If the statement is true, then it must be false. But if it is false, it must be true. This paradox explores the limits of self-reference and challenges the consistency of logical systems, raising questions about truth and contradiction. Newcomb's paradox. Newcomb's paradox is a problem in decision theory and philosophy of action. It involves a game between a predictor and a player, where the player must choose between taking one box or two boxes, knowing that the predictor has already predicted their choice. This paradox challenges our understanding of free will, prediction, and rational decision-making. The Sleeping Beauty Problem. The Sleeping Beauty Problem is a thought experiment in probability theory. Sleeping Beauty is put to sleep and woken either once or twice depending on the flip of a coin, but she won't remember any previous awakenings. When she wakes, what should her degree of belief be that the coin landed heads? This experiment explores the nature of probability and self-locating belief. The Zeno's paradoxes. Zeno's paradoxes are a set of philosophical problems that challenge our understanding of motion and infinity. One famous paradox is Achilles and the tortoise, where Achilles can never catch up to a tortoise given a head start, as he must first reach the point where the tortoise was, by which time the tortoise has moved slightly further. These paradoxes question the concept of continuous motion and challenge our understanding of space and time. This video is for educational or entertainment purposes only, and information provided in the video may be incorrect. Like the video if you found this video helpful, and subscribe to the channel for more such amazing videos.